Lopes. Interesting thing to note in this game, first of all, both these teams very well coached, so you know both teams are going to come in prepared. But one thing I do think we need to mention at this point, Andy Anderson, number 34 green for Colorado State, is going to get a start, and he is very much a key player, and he's playing hurt.
This is why they got knocked out of the WAC tournament the first round by Air Force. Andy Anderson didn't play, and they need his athletic ability to stay with Alabama today.
You see that knee tightly wrapped, and he has had a medial collateral. He did have it arthroscopically repaired, but it's still got a little bit of a tear in it, and he's going to really have to suck it up and play hurt.
3 weeks ago he had it repaired.
Yeah, that's some serious stuff.
You and I would be in the rocking chair.
Absolutely. Guards are a key factor for Wimp Sanderson's team. They have not had great production, but they played better at the end of the year than they did at the beginning, and that is the good news.
I think that's why they won the tournament so easy in the Southeast Conference, because the guards did play well.
Outside jumper and sticking the three-pointer was Robert Horry.
Three-point basket by Robert Horry. Three-point basket.
Horry will shoot that shot, despite the fact that he's 6'9".
Definitely has a NBA-type body. Long arms, really looks like a basketball player.
And as you mentioned, very good shot blocker. This is Anderson. He really is a key player. Down low this time. Freehoff rejected by Horry. To make believers out of you.
Interesting way to start the game. He only takes 4 shots a game, and he starts the game off by challenging the strongest part of Alabama's defense inside.
Might think about that next time. Benoit misses the jumper. Freehoff has the rebound.
They've had excellent guard play, but when Colorado State has played badly, Tyron and Meredith have played badly. So Alabama really will be focusing on the guards.
Yeah, Mitchell has been a very consistent player, and Anderson, when he's healthy, has been a consistent player. But Boyd Grant feels that he has to get the game that he usually gets out of Anderson and Mitchell, and a good game out of the guards. Mitchell misses a 3, and Benoit the rebound, and a quick outlet to Sanders. Sanders all the way.
Well, so much about the guards being weak and only scoring 16% of their points. But we did say they really came on in the Southeast Conference tournament. Neither of these clubs steal the ball a lot, but they play great defense, the best in the Southeast Conference and the WAC.
Boyd Grant saying that he's changed their style. Tryon knocks one down. That's a deuce.
Colorado State basket by Len Tryon.
I would say that Boyd Grant, in talking about his offensive philosophy, especially when he was at Fresno State, he said, we're going to pass it 26 times, and if we miss it, we're going to give it back to you. But he said, we're not doing that anymore. He's down to about 20.
Yeah. Well, usually offense helps defense, but these teams really do. Look at that double down on Mitchell.
Drew a crowd, travel, no basket.
And that'll be typical of both teams today. Is the double down off the people that can't shoot is Boyd Grant. Didn't like what he saw there from his star, Mitchell.
Boyd Grant, ever the teacher. Looks kind of professorial, doesn't he? Well, they get right up in Horry's face, and here's a turnover, and here comes Mitchell, race to the basket with weights.
Colorado State basket by Mike Mitchell.
They say first team in the NBA, and that's partly why.
Outstanding player at 6'8", and very mobile. And a wide body as well. Stepping in front that time, Freehoff, but it'll be out of bounds to Alabama.
When I was checking around to find out about these two clubs, everybody I talked to said we had a bad shooting night against them.
Isn't that amazing how that works, huh?
Defense has a way of doing that. Opposition only shot 40% against Alabama, 42% against Colorado State. So we're not going to have a lot of points.
Two good defensive teams. Sanders misses the jumper, fight for the rebound, foul from behind. I believe it's going to go against Meredith.
Good box out by both of these clubs. Alabama guards can penetrate. They don't shoot the jumper off the penetration real well. And there was a little arm on that. Good call.
Waits to inbound for Bama. Got to hurry here. 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Boy, I tell you, they do play some defense.
The sign of a good defensive team is all the little things, the side out of bounds, the ends out of bounds. They defense not just when the action is half court, but everywhere on the court.
They were walking across the timeline as much as possible. Tryon open for three. Got it. And so far, the guards are giving Boyd Grant exactly the kind of production he needed.
They play well when Tryon and Meredith play well. So far, they look good.
And the other factor, too, is that Anderson right now showing no signs of that knee problem. He's moving very well.
And that's why they started him. They wanted to get him in right away, and maybe he would come out of the gate fast.
Melvin Cheatham stepping in nicely for the basket. Tied at 7.
The guy we said had to get going for Alabama. He's their offensive spark, Cheatham.
Anderson worked on very closely by Cheatham. Cheatham, a great athlete. Tryon open again, steps in. Tryon with the early hot hand.
Colorado State's offense is predicated on a lot of penetration and dumping to those shooters.
Horry missed a cripple that time, and it's knocked out of bounds off of Mitchell. It'll be Bama's ball.
Nice inside pass. Alabama does this very well. It's their heart and soul. It's difficult to do what he just did. Have the rim blocked out.
So we got a timeout. 15-16 remaining first half. Colorado State by 2. It's 9-7. We'll be back. 9-7 ball game. Colorado State by 2. As you see, 15-16 remaining in the half.
Here's the famous Colorado State 1-1-3 zone. This is the first time they've used it. We knew we'd see it.
Jumper out front by Cheatham, missed the shot. Mitchell knocks it out of bounds again. So far, Alabama getting all the loose balls.
Most good man-to-man teams really don't play good zones. These two teams do. Both Wimp and Boyd specialize in going into zones and playing it well.
Knocked out of bounds off of Sanders. It'll be Colorado State's ball. Boy, they play the inbounds pass really well, don't they?
They're 2 for 2. Can't do any better than that.
Anderson hasn't shot it, but he is a presence. There's no question about it. This team seems to function better when he's out there.
And they have no one at that position on the bench, so they need him, as you said, Barry, his presence.
Good ball movement. Tryon again off the glass and in, and the guards really doing a job. Tryon with 6 and Meredith with 3. 9 of the 11. Colorado State points, another turnover. And those are not cheap turnovers. They're being forced.
Yes, they push you to the middle. They're going man-to-man on makes and the zone on the misses now.
Askins has come on. Keith Askins, number 41, as you see, a senior from Athens, Alabama. And he is a guy who really could and maybe should be starting. But he prefers coming off the bench.
Yes, and the last 2 years, he averages 10 a game, but he comes off the bench. 11-2 run by Colorado State now.
And he stepped on a line, did Meredith. So a loose ball and an unforced turnover.
Just when you think you're playing very well offensively against Alabama, they tighten the screws up defensively.
Matt Sharp has come on, and Anderson will sit. And that's going to be a real factor for Boyd Grant. Now he'll sit. And, of course, when you do that, the leg has a tendency to tighten up a little bit.
Perfect, Barry, and that's what happens. Matt Sharp's a pretty good offensive player, but doesn't rebound and play defense like the other guy.
Matt Sharp took a finger in the eye.
Boyd Grant's looking down his bench right now.
He's asking for volunteers.
He doesn't go any deeper than Matt Sharp at that position.
Alabama's had some shooting problems.
Well, they've missed 6 in a row. That can happen to them, but the defensive end, Colorado State on that offensive run, that doesn't happen.
Offensive foul on Askins.
And that's It's that zone, that 1-1-3. They pressure out in it. It was invented by a Pitt assistant coach way back in the 60s, and he called it the amoeba. I guess that's why. Franny Webster.
It's really a defense that really can be puzzling and can really cause a team problems.
So Alabama says, you're going to play your zone, we'll play ours. Let's see if our matchup's as good as your 1-1-3.
They prefer to play man-to-man. They'll show the zone. Here's what happens when you do.
Well, against Colorado State, if Meredith and Tryon are hitting, you better stay man-to-man.
Which they are. Second three for Meredith.
The amoeba.
It's just been a hallmark of the Boyd Grant team, both at Fresno State and at Colorado State. Robert Horry sticks a three, his second.
3-point basket by Robert
He
Horry.
had 29 points and 10 rebounds against a zone at Mississippi State earlier in the year, so he's capable of doing that.
So far, a very well played defensive game on both parts. Colorado State will be very patient. Mitchell.
That's why he's such an asset. He can go outside. He posts up half the time when you play man-to-man. When you play zone, he shoots outside.
Horry again for three. That's three for him. Not bad for 6'9".
3-point basket by Robert Horry. 3-point
They
basket.
remind me a lot, Barry, of the Illinois team last year. A lot of great athletes, 6'7", 6'8", that can run the court and play great defense. Alabama's never out of the ballgame.
Well, another significant factor, I think they were a better team at the end of the season than they were at the beginning of the season. And Arizona, the team that won the first game here, you can say that about them too, and there's a number of teams in this tournament. All you have to do is look at Missouri to see the opposite end of that stick.
That's right. You can't go bad at the end of the year and win this tournament. Sanders came into the lineup after about the 13th game to really change this Alabama team.
Sanders stepped in that time, fouled Mitchell, or Askins, I beg your pardon.
They can go 3 or 4 deep inside Alabama.
We'll take a timeout. 11:49 remaining first half. 16-13 ball game. Colorado State leading Alabama. 81-46 Duke over the Richmond Spiders. St. John's easy over Temple.
Yes, the Atlantic 10 needed a little better game there, but they haven't been playing well at the end, Temple.
What a win this was. Northern Iowa, a buzzer beater, three-point shot by a guy named Newby, who had 3 threes in the game. They win it by 3. That's a great win.
The AMQ tournament was like that. The whole tournament, I had those finals, and it was great.
We were talking earlier about the fact that Alabama was not shooting the ball particularly well. Just the opposite for Colorado State.
Yes, they've made their last 7 field goals.
That's not bad.
Interesting philosophy changing to this zone for Alabama this early.
Forcing a turnover. Here comes Sanders. Get it ahead to Cheatham. They've contained Cheatham pretty well. Sanders steps in, takes it, has it.
And they've been letting the guards penetrate because they're concentrating so much on Benoit and the inside people. And now the guards are starting to get a little more relaxed for Alabama.
That really is Boyd Grant's attitude in this game. Let the guards beat you.
Yes. When you look at their production, that has to be the game plan.
And good ball movement there for 3 and another.
3-point basket by Martin Meredith.
Well, they say Boyd Grant looks like an oversized George C. Scott, talks like Will Rogers, but he coaches like Boyd Grant.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. He was a legend at Fresno. I mean a legend.
They loved him there, and they lost him, and Colorado State smiling.
He really was serious about retiring from coaching. Askins misses the leaner, and Tryon has it.
See if Alabama stays in the zone.
Of course, now the question you have to ask yourself, you've made 8 shots in a row, and you lead by 4. What happens when you stop shooting well?
Yeah, and that's Alabama's defense. You know they're not going to give up too many more in a row. And they've gone back to man-to-man. Enough of that zone defense. They burned that for 8. Watch Alabama bumping Barry in the middle. Every cutter gets bumped. As you can see right now, Meredith shaking his head.
I think a foul called away from the ball. against Matt
Foul
Sharp.
44. Matt Sharp, his first personal, second team foul on the
There's
Rams.
Boyd Grant. I'll tell you, if you line up 10 people, say, pick out the basketball coach, he'd be the 10th guy you picked.
Well, they always say Dan Reeves wears suspenders because they're trendy. Boyd Grant wears them to keep his pants up. And that's Boyd. He can coach.
Yeah, he said, I just will not recruit an undisciplined kid.
Yes. And, they listen very well. I've watched them practice all through the year. They do what he wants them to do.
Eric
Freehoff was the man guilty of the foul.
On Colorado State. Foul awarded to Alabama.
Haskins, and they match up. They'll just double up and any chance they get. An errant pass and another turnover. And that again, credit the defense.
They have pressure outside, and it seems like you can get that lob pass in, but they always have someone there.
6 turnovers now for Alabama. And again, they haven't been of the cheap variety. They've been forced.
Alabama doesn't turn the ball over too often. Neither of these clubs do. That's trademark, once again, Wim Sanderson and Boyd Grant teams. Let's see how they do against the man-to-man now.
Freehoff outside. That's a shot that he won't take. I bet he hadn't taken a shot like that 4 times this year.
And he's flexing his arm. Right now, Boyd Grant is yelling over there. Freehoff shows that he's, I'll get the next one, coach.
Marcus Webb will come on for Alabama. And Benoit will leave. Benoit has been a non-factor in this game so far.
He's the junior college from Tyler Junior College, and he's averaging 11 a game. He's usually more into the offense.
Marcus Webb, a definite wide body. Was a football player. In fact, his dad is a football coach. He's the head coach at Alabama A&M. Was an assistant with Jackie Sherrill at Texas A&M.
He's another one that can really bump the game.
Again, they missed this one. And the rebound down into the hands of Cheatham.
Alabama trying to pick up the tempo now and push it a little bit more.
Outside jumper, Ori, and Ori now has 4 threes.
Well, maybe the zone's working against everyone else, but Ori's eyes are lighting up with the zone.
I mean, this guy is 6'9". Wish we've seen that a lot in college basketball now. Guys 6'9", 6'10", and can nail that 3.
I think there's a guy named Magic that started it all.
He's not a bad player, you know?
Notice how Colorado State tried to defense. They wanted Alabama to come out and chase them in that man-to-man. Alabama wouldn't. They're not going to panic. And Mitchell, as we will see, really took it hard to the basket. And this is why Colorado State's difficult to defend, because the inside people can really put it on the floor.
Tell you what, Ori got a lot of ball there.
Yeah, I think earlier he gave a little bump.
So Mitchell will go to the free throw line, 73% free throw shooter. He's been in double figures in all but 2 of Colorado State's games.
And that's an amazing statistic, consistency. And that's why in the tournament, they were so disappointed losing to Air Force in the first round of the tournament. They were the #1 seed and really took that game hard.
Very much a key player, as we mentioned earlier, Mitchell. When he goes for 20 or more points, they're 11-2.
Yes. Very good. Marcus Webb, watch this pick he sets.
He is a big body, but interestingly enough, as big as he is, they say he's not a great rebounder.
Yeah, he's not as quick as they would like him, but he's lost a lot of weight. He's playing much better now. Well, maybe not a lot of weight.
Mitchell doing a very good job defensively right now on Cheatham.
Oh, there either.
Anderson is guilty of the foul, but it does bode well for Colorado State that Anderson being very mobile, playing with that tightly wrapped knee.
You know, I was watching his feet. He moved them very well that time.
Well, we'll take a timeout. Look at the scoreboard. Colorado State 20, Alabama 18. Back after these words from your local station. This is an NCAA production. 20-18 ball game here, 7:35 remaining first half. It's been a very well played game on both sides so far. Bring you up to date on some other scores in the Southeast region. Minnesota wins close with Texas El Paso. They're the #6 seed. They move on into the next round. Took them to overtime to do it, too. Georgetown never in any trouble in this game.
No, they a little too big, a little too quick.
Waits to inbound. Mitchell stepped in front, got a hand on the ball. They surround Marcus Webb. Askins. Too hard off the glass. Fight for the rebound. Webb comes down with it. Bama gets a new 45.
If I work that hard inside, I'm not taking that ball back outside. Webb threw it back out. Watch Alabama really hit the offensive board now.
Ori, nice pass into Webb. Good look by Ori.
And that's how Alabama scores. Hit that offensive rebound, get the ball back inside. Colorado State was the worst rebounding team in the WAC, so that wasn't unusual, that series right there.
Tied at 20.
That last team in the WAC left as Brigham Young went down by 2. Now UTEP in a close game.
Anderson, too hard off the glass. Made a good move to get there, and a foul is going to be called against Colorado State.
Boyd Grant won't hate that play for 2 reasons. Andy Anderson took that bad knee to the basket, and the other thing was the big guy inside, Matt Sharp, went aggressively to the board, and they want him to do that.
Sanders comes back on for Askins now. So Wimp Sanderson going a little bit smaller and back with his original starting lineup, with the exception of Marcus Webb, who was in the ballgame.
They were bigger early in the season, so they had played this way before, but they've been more successful with the smaller lineup. Wimp has been here 8 of the last 10 years.
Nice pass again, and a good move to the basket by Webb. Count it, and he goes to the line. So Webb has come on to really be an offensive factor, and Mitchell, the man guilty of the foul.
I think they say around 6'8", 270. I think the term wide body would fit right there, as he was turned sideways. The weak side help just couldn't get there.
So Marcus Webb will go to the free throw line.
And don't even think about that young man, Mike Mitchell, being in foul trouble. Otherwise, we don't have a game today.
Yeah, that's a serious problem if he doesn't get in foul trouble. Webb misses the free throw. Mitchell has the rebound.
He really does play a lot like Pat Durham of last year. Boyd Grant's been very successful with players with just 1 year of eligibility left. Tribblehorn was a player like that, and now Mike Mitchell.
And that surprises me, frankly, because according to other coaches I've talked to, Boyd Grant's system takes a little while to get used to.
Yes, both of those players, very extremely intelligent players. This is the Boyd Grant man-to-man offense, 9 passes.
And try on for 3, missed the shot.
But that's what they want, right there, that shot.
They look at the Webb now. And Webb, the turnaround. And got a foul against Webb.
Marcus Webb pulled the string on the shot. He didn't follow through, and then he knew it, and he went after that rebound.
Not pleased.
Tell you what, if Bear Bryant was still at the school, I think that young man would be playing linebacker somewhere.
Karen Wilson comes on now.
Late in the season, Colorado State just going with 8 players. They're going a little deeper for a team like Alabama that has a lot of depth.
Yeah, they are. Jamie Hines is also in the ball game now. They are really going with a small lineup right at the moment, too.
Hines can play both forward and guard, but he can't shoot. Great defensive player. So they're really going to have to find Mitchell with this lineup in there.
Yeah, because Freehoff is not a shooter. Hines is not a shooter. This guy can shoot.
Yes.
So can Mitchell. Hines steps in, finger rolls it, missed it. But Mitchell, controlling the rebound, gets it back, waits for help, moves it back out.
And a case of offense helping the defense now. That's why they only give up 58 points a game against opposition, and they're ranked in the top 10, Colorado State in defense for that reason.
They clear out. Mitchell takes it to the basket, and a foul is going to be called on the block against Webb.
When you're going against a good man-to-man defensive team and you drive, this is what's going to happen.
Well, I thought they called it against Webb. They didn't. They called it against Mitchell.
That was a charge. Never go into the air, especially the forwards, against a good man-to-man team. And a lot of good young defensive teams in the Southeast Conference. They didn't have a great season, but look for them in the future. A lot of new coaches in that league and a lot of good things happening.
Yeah, Witt was saying, we talked to him yesterday, it is the kind of conference where a lot of teams are going to be 12-6, 11-7, and that's just going to happen when you play that many games against quality opponents and very good home teams. Nice save that time by Sanders.
What else?
That is 5 threes in the first 16.5 minutes of this game.
He's hit double figures 21 times this year, and he's a lot like Mitchell. Can go outside and inside. Tonight he's outside. There's a guy that has to get shooting the ball a little bit more for Colorado State, Mitchell.
Nice look inside to Wilson, and he just forgot to take the ball. And here comes Bama with a 5-point lead and the basketball. Sanders.
And that's one reason they're better with Sanders in the lineup.
And Boyd Grant wants a timeout. He is not at all pleased with the goings-on here. 27-20, Alabama over Colorado State. We'll be back. Authority of the NCAA, any use of this program without the written consent is prohibited. The announcers for this program have been approved and contracted by NCAA Productions. It's nice to be approved, isn't it?
Did it say anything about getting paid?
I don't know. Let me look at that. Alabama right now has it going.
Oh, 11-0 run. And we said earlier, as Mr. Ori has been the 15-point offense, and their defense will always be there. You may score on them a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, I think one of the things to point out, too, in this game is that it's easy to look at the scoreboard and say it's being played at Boyd Grant's tempo. But the simple fact is, Wimp Sanderson doesn't mind that tempo at all.
He can play there. And we are still wondering why he went to that early zone. Colorado just tore it apart. Now they're chest to chest in that good man-to-man. Oh.
He thought about it, didn't he? Try out behind a free off screen. That's a tough shot.
You were being nice.
Yeah, missed everything, and Ori had the rebound. Can't even call it a rebound.
Yeah, Boyd Grant is not as nice as you. He's looking for a sub right now.
That's right. Ori jump hook inside. He's doing everything right now offensively.
Well, Boyd Grant's team's taking bad shots. Alabama's getting their shot inside, and that's why Alabama's gone 9-up.
Biggest lead of the game right now for Alabama. And Colorado State, while a great team, not the kind of team that wants to get itself in a situation where they're double digits down.
They're looking for Mitchell now, and they should.
There's a shot over the top, free off the foul.
Alabama's a difficult team to come back on because you can't get offensive rebounds. Here's their big scorer, Mitchell. No one, he'll give you a great pump fake. That time no one went up with him, and he missed an easy shot. And it was over the back on Freehoff.
Well, it's interesting, I think, that Alabama is doing this offensively without Benoit. David Benoit has been a big factor for him, 10.5 points a game, and he's empty so far. Haskins didn't do much off the bench, and he's another offensive threat for Alabama. So really, it has been Robert Ori and a good defense.
I think you hit it right, Barry. But Alabama during the year gets 21 points off their bench every game. Colorado State gets 11. So we're seeing that right here. And bench means a great deal in the NCAA big dance.
And one other note to that, Melvin Cheatham, who's averaging just short of 16 points a game, has only a deuce so far.
Great teams get points from a lot of different places.
Marcus Webb, a big lift off the bench. He's got 6.
Would you say it's a big contribution?
It's figuratively and literally.
Colorado needs something right here.
They go down low to Mitchell. Got a man in the air and made the basket.
Now Boyd Grant's had it. Got together a big guy after that timeout last 2 times. He's had the ball both times.
Marcus Webb again inside.
Alabama basket by Marcus Webb.
Baby Barkley, if he keeps going that way.
Again, down low this time to Anderson, fouled from behind. So Boyd Grant obviously has adapted a new philosophy after that timeout.
Yes. He put in his 3 big trees inside, and now they're going to get that ball inside. And he's still talking to Mr. Meredith on the bench about shot selection.
He said, Boyd Grant said, one of the keys is that they're going to have to get some offensive rebounds in this game. They really haven't been able to do that.
And they haven't all season. That's why I said they better not fall back too far, because they're not a great offensive rebounding team.
Mitchell this time draws a crowd and stepped on the line.
Alabama, they're trying to take advantage of the inside play defense of Marcus Webb. He is not the quickest in the world, but they are double teaming Mike Mitchell to help him out.
5 seconds left in the first half. Difference of about 19 seconds between the shot clock and the scoreboard clock.
Alabama's ahead. They're going to run some time. Watch the penetration of Gary Waite. Great penetrator and passer.
And it's Webb. Webb all of a sudden feels that he could shoot it. And we're going to have a foul that may go against Webb.
Whatever Freehoff has, it's contagious.
That's right. That's right.
As now the opposing set is going to... Marcus has to act like he's very disappointed in missing, because Wimp Sanders is looking down the bench right now. Marcus has caught him.
Give that foul to Cheatham and not to Webb. Oh, Webb gets 8 points coming off the bench. There's a look at Wimp Sanders.
Great builder of programs. I mean, you know, when Bear Bryant has that football program going like it was for thousands of years, he came in and just really built the program. At Alabama, they sold 5,000 season tickets. That's 2,000 more than they ever have this year. So that man is the plus as far as coaches go.
He really is, and he really likes this collection of kids that he has, too. Well, we talked about the fact that Boyd Grant felt he had to get Mitchell and Anderson and help from 2 other people in this game to really be in the ballgame. And so far, only 3 members of the Colorado State team have scored. Somebody's missing.
Yes. They better find him at halftime.
Sanders forced that shot. And the first half comes to an end, and it does, with Alabama running away and hiding in the latter part of the first half. End of the first 20 minutes, Bama 33, Colorado State 22.
The Alabama Crimson Tide, tournament champions in the SEC, and some feel they got a bad deal being sent out of the region in the Southeast. They had to travel, but they do have the lead over Colorado State out of the WAC at halftime. Dick Vitale, you and I had a chance to do an Alabama and North Carolina game much earlier in the season. We talked with Wimp Sanderson, and he had nothing but praise for Robert Horry. All the great players he's had, he said he may be the best.
Well, you know, they had Derek McKee, certainly a superstar that played there. Bobby Lee Hurt. But I love Robert Horry, and I know you did. He's 6'9½". He's got tremendous potential. He went up and down, a little inconsistent during the course of the year. And I agree. There's no way in the world, I really believe this, that Alabama should have been shipped to the West. On the other side, you look at a coach, Boyd Grant, does an outstanding job. Came from Fresno State. Hey, mention Fresno, I got the guy for that job. Gary Colson, the job is open right now. He's the #1 lieutenant to Luke Campanelli, former head coach at New Mexico. They better hire him right now. He's a winner. Colson is the name for Fresno.
I hope all these coaches are paying you a little bit of a
you want
fee
another
here.
tip? I'm going to give you another quick one.
All right.
Ready for this
Get
one?
it in.
Unbelievably quick. Billy Tubbs is being sought after by his former school, Lamar, athletic director and coach, and they want to load it up with all kinds of cash to bring Tubbs back to Lamar. But I don't think they'll get him away from Oklahoma, because they'll probably give him an oil well.
You're going to send shockwaves through Soonerland at that point, talking like that. Let's go elsewhere now and look at the biggest upset of the tournament thus far. Missouri and Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa coming into the game not given any chance of knocking off a Missouri team, despite the fact Missouri has been sluggish lately. The Panthers, first time in the tournament, Troy Mullenberg. The three-pointer and the foul. The Panthers are up by 12. They look like they're rolling. Missouri fans can see it slipping away. But John McIntyre, the bomb at the buzzer. The Panthers at halftime are up 42-31. in the second half. Eldon Miller, who's done it with other teams before, sees the lead get away. Nathan Button, the big rebound, the hoop and the foul, and we are tied with 10 seconds left.
Here we go. Turner, unable to get inside.
Oh, Newby.
Celebration begins as Northern Iowa has knocked off the #3 seed Missouri, a loser, 74-71. They lost in the first round of their conference tournament, and obviously that was not a fluke as they are knocked out of this one, and Northern Iowa will advance in the Southeast region. Also in the Southeast, being played in Richmond, UTEP and Minnesota. UTEP won on their home floor in the WAC tournament. Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, a team many people wonder about because they can't win away from home. But this is the tournament. Greg Foster with a block. Prince Stewart on the fast break. Feeds Marlon Maxey for the slam. UTEP by 3 in the second half. Then the Gophers turn it around, turning their heads around as well. Melvin Newbern takes the cross-court pass and sinks the 3. Minnesota up 53-50, less than a minute. UTEP won't die. Henry Hall with a 3, and we're going to overtime. That was their only field goal in the final 10.5 minutes. UTEP with a chance to tie. Prince Stewart doesn't go for the 3, winds up getting the deuce. Newbern, though, will finish off the Miners with the easy layup, and Minnesota wins it 64-61. The Golden Gophers, a team that doesn't usually play well on the road, but this, of course, is a neutral floor, 64-61. Kevin Lynch with 18 points. The guard, and Willie Burton had 14 points. So the brackets in the Southeast look like this. Minnesota advances, these games being played in Richmond, Virginia, with the win over UTEP. Missouri, a loser. #3 is knocked off, so Minnesota and Northern Iowa will face off. Virginia and Notre Dame still to come. You'll see that one here on ESPN. And Syracuse and Coppin State. Let's move to the West now. South Florida facing Arizona. These games being played in Long Beach, California. Arizona, a team that struggled early in the season, losing at Oregon and at Oregon State before they went on a roll in the Pac-10. Tucson Skyline, Stokes, Brooks, and Brian Williams. But South Florida's man dominated. Hakeem Shaheed, the rebound, the putback, and the foul. Shaheed with 7 in the first half. Shaheed again down low. 3 fakes. Third time's the charm. South Florida by 5 at halftime. But Brian Williams took charge in the second half. 12 of 15 from the floor. Brooks misses. Williams is there to jam it home. Arizona 12-4 run. Williams once again, and Arizona has their fans happy. 79-67. They pull off the victory as Brian Williams, 12 of 15, 28 points, a career high in this one. So Arizona advances.
Colorado State not shooting it that badly either. 3 of 5 from three-point land. One interesting thing between these two teams, Mike, only 7 players have scored in this game.
Well, that's knowing your role, and both coaches really define that.
I think another thing to point out, too, Wim Sanderson, when we talk to him, as Bama starts to run, they'll penetrate with the guards and try to go cross-court with a pass to Cheatham. It bounced off the official. He's a part of play, remember. And they come the other way. Wim Sanderson said, Mike Mitchell's going to be the toughest defensive assignment we've had. I honestly don't think we have anybody who can guard him, but they've done a pretty good job on him so far.
Yes, and we see now, there's a halftime talk of Boyd Grant.
And he got it down to Mike Mitchell, and nobody did guard him that time. Mitchell with 9 points, and he's had to earn them.
But at the end of the first half, you could see they could be successful getting it in, and they start the second half that way.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments they make. Sanders throws one up, a 3-pointer.
And you can see he does have a lot of confidence. Wim said he's playing a lot better, and we're playing a lot better.
Sanders has 9 points in the ball game so far. He was a key player, according to Wimp, the last 10 games. Turnover, 2-on-1. Waits on the wing to Ori down the lane. Cheatman. Cheatham right down the lane, filling it perfectly.
And he hasn't been going in this ball game. If he goes, look out. He was the MVP in the Southeast Conference tournament. The tournament, they didn't have a great deal of trouble winning.
Alabama gets right in your pocket defensively, don't they?
A lot of great athletes who are very disciplined on the defensive end, team-wise. They try to front the pivot all the time. Get a lot of weak side help, and you can do that.
Nice look down low that time to Anderson from Mitchell, and a foul from behind. I think going to go against Cheatham. Take a look at that last sequence down the floor. They came with a 2-on-1, and Cheatham was really the trailer. And speaking of trailers, we'll try to show that to you a little bit later.
Alabama's just too quick. You can't keep up with it. There's that zone defense out of bounds, which Colorado really shot in the first half. And Mike Meredith says, this is my defense.
Rams continue to be very patient. They go cross court. Mitchell takes the little jumper. Nice touch.
And that's why Marty Blake of the NBA Scouting Service says that man may be in the NBA next year. He can shoot it out and in.
Try to get a down low to Benoit, who, as we mentioned, has been no factor at all. Mitchell saved it nicely. Meredith gets it for the Rams.
That hasn't happened for the last 10 minutes. It was happening early in the ballgame. Alabama turnovers.
Mitchell for three. Short, missed everything.
Yeah, he didn't need to shoot that quick. They had a nice down pick going on, and he just was off balance.
Here's a case where neither of these teams is really a home team, and the crowd, more of a theater crowd than it is a basketball crowd.
They're really playing Ori close now. They don't want him to get that three-pointer going again.
5 3-pointers in the first 20 minutes for Robert Ori.
Notice Freehoff is not checking Benoit at all. He's dropping off him.
Sanders for three. His second of the second half.
Well, it was Ori's first half. It's Sanders' second half. He transferred from Itwamba Junior College.
Sounds like something spelled backwards. They gave Freehoff the baseline, but he didn't take it.
They have to keep working Mitchell. He's successful.
Anderson stepped in, traveled.
But even a Anderson on 1.5 legs would be better than going to that smaller lineup against Alabama.
Yeah, it really hurt him in the first half when they did do that. Ori open for three. Oh. Amazing shooting by Robert Ori.
Well, the predictors of the NCAA tournament all over the nation now are looking at Alabama with a stronger eye.
Great athletes. They go pretty deep. They've been there before, and they're doing it again. We'll be back. Look at the three-point shooting for Alabama. Even the Rams asleep. 8 of 8. That's not bad.
That's right. Mr. Ori, I think, is 6 for 6 from three-point range, and he has 20 points. And you put Sanders in there with his 2 for 2 in the second half, and that's just unbelievable shooting from a team that's not known for three-point shots.
So Colorado State now just trying to keep Bama in sight. They trail by 18.
And they won't get them off the offensive board. They have to get them through execution, and that's a tough way to come back against a good defensive team.
Very difficult.
Notice we haven't seen that Alabama zone.
Yeah, that's right. That disappeared in a hurry, didn't it?
Since early in the game.
Well, we mentioned that they are basically a man-to-man team. They will show the zone. They showed it all right.
Much to the happiness of Boyd Grant. Notice the quickness inside of Alabama. They really, and Colorado State does a great job of sealing off to get the ball in the entry pass, but not against Alabama's quickness.
Try on the jumper. That's a 2.
Early in the ball game, we saw that. Not so much lately.
I would think, though, Bama will be very content to give Colorado State that shot all day. A little turnaround shot that time.
And that's Benoit's shot. Little turnaround baseline jumper from 10 feet. That's where he's effective. With all those three-pointers, I can see why the middle is opening up.
Yeah, right now Bama has it going entirely their way. Down low it goes to Sharp. Put it on the floor and then went with a jump hook.
He's a much better offensive player than Freehoff, and I imagine that's why he's in the game. They need a little offensive spark in the middle.
16-point lead, just under 15 minutes remaining.
The last of the whack of their 3 entrants battling here in Long Beach. Big Ten has only lost 1 member so far, Indiana.
Benoit with a jumper, and they almost won it. They came back the last against California, but the Bears stuck to it.
Yeah. The West Coast was happy yesterday with Cal Santa Barbara and California winning.
Oregon State Dropped one to Ball State, however.
Ball State can do that. Last year against Pittsburgh, they play the defense in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah, they're a good team, actually.
Yes, very good. Curtis Kidd, Harris McCurdy.
Nice look inside. Mitchell the jumper.
That's how Colorado, the only way they can get back, make sure the inside guys get the basketball.
Look out. Missed it short. Still had a nice rotation on it, though, I'll tell you that.
He was going back on defense. He thought he had it.
Tryon for three.
They needed it. Mitchell was wide open, and he's a little discouraged going back on
They
defense.
got the numbers now. 3-on-1. Horry.
Alabama will push the ball down the floor if you take an errant three-pointer. And that time it was.
Luke Sanderson talking about Robert Horry said if he works hard, he could be a Derek McKay. That's saying a lot.
Oh, yes. They've had some great ones, and that young man was one of the good ones. Remember T.R. Dunn and Leon Douglas, Buck Johnson, Enos Watley, all great Alabama basketball players. Jim Farmer.
Luke has really done an excellent job, both as an assistant and as a head coach.
He keeps the talent at home. A lot of Alabama players on this squad.
Significant, though, in talking about, as we said, and we mentioned this a couple of times, but he really likes the character of this team.
Yes, he enjoys being around them. He said that at the press conference, and I've heard him say he doesn't like teams.
That's true.
He's very frank.
I like his choice of words. He said, you can fuss at these guys.
Yeah.
Benoit high for an offensive rebound and a putback.
And he also said, I do a lot of fussing.
Yeah, that's right.
And they know what I mean. I had to listen to that twice because sometimes, being from the Midwest, Wimp and I are on the same linguistic channel.
Yeah, we were kidding about it there because they had somebody standing at a podium at the press conference. When you and I walked into the press conference yesterday, we were wondering if that was the interpreter.
Yeah.
Marcus Webb in the game for Alabama.
Oh, here comes the big guy back in.
Well, Marcus Webb off the bench. He came off the bench and into the hearts of Alabama fans in the first half with 8 points.
I think him, more than anything else, opened up the three-point shot for Alabama in the first half. He did a great job offensively scoring in the middle. Crowd a little quiet in the second game. Arizona just had the place packed in the first game. Their fans were here in Long Beach and really brought them back against a determined South Florida team.
Yeah, I thought they played very well.
Oh, just did a great job for the Sun Belt Conference.
I've seen Arizona a great deal this year. They're playing great at the end of the year, and South Florida tested them as well as anybody I've seen in the last month of the season. The score a little bit misleading because they only built the lead at the very end of the game.
Bobby Pasquale, great turnaround from last year.
Tryon misses a J, and here's Freehoff with a putback blocked, but Freehoff in the process got himself mugged.
Well, they can give three different players a quarter block on that because a lot of people got their hands on Freehoff's shot. There's the three-pointer going up, and good rebound here. If the referee would move, thank you. There's one block. There's another. Horry leads this team in blocked shots, but not far behind him is Benoit.
Let's look at Boyd Grant. It may have to be another year for Boyd, and don't you know it will be.
They said at the when he lost, Durham and Trimblehorn, that he would be finished far down in the WAC, but he has a way of it's his system that wins, and he just puts people in the spots.
And I thought, again, Wimp made an interesting point when he said the longer you play in Boyd's system, the better you play it.
Yes. Of course, Wimp had to replace Ansley and Alvin Lee, two great players for Alabama.
35 points a game.
Yeah. He signed James Robinson, averaged 40 a game in Jackson, Mississippi, and Marcus Jones, another great player out of Memphis, but they had to sit out this year. They're guards, and they'll be eligible next year.
And there are not a lot of seniors on this team. 3 seniors amongst those who play for Wimp Sanderson. So this team's going to be good for a long time. Waits leaves it for Benoit. Can't quite find a handle, but it bounces off a ram. And we'll take a timeout with 11 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in the game, and it is going all the way of Alabama. They lead it by 17. We'll be back.
Still 2 games to come here on ESPN tonight, rather. At 7 o'clock, we'll move to the Midwest region. Texas, the number 10 seed, will take on Georgia. Then at 9:30 from the Southeast in Richmond, Notre Dame and Virginia. Stay with us. You won't want to miss it. Let's get back to Long Beach, California.
Alabama having it all their own way here with time ticking down. 11 minutes, 42 seconds remaining in a half. Look at the front line scoring in this game.
Alabama 36, Colorado State 16 points. We expected that, but we thought Colorado State's backcourt would score a little bit more than Alabama's.
But again, William Sanderson says that your front line is only as good as your guards.
And that's true. But if they told me Melvin Cheatham, and there's the clock has run out, they came out of a timeout and didn't check the clock to see how much time was left on it. And Gary Waite should be the guy that leads him. He's going to the referee right now because he knows Wimp will be talking to him.
Wimp has toned that coat down today. You know,
well, maybe he's saving the real coach for the quarter and semis.
Even at that, though, don't you know there's a cold horse somewhere in Alabama?
No reset. This way.
Now let's make sure we know who said that. That was Barry Tompkins.
I'm only kidding. I like it.
Yes. I don't love it. But
No,
I like it.
no, that's right.
I'm not going to wear it, but I like it. Wimp's got the lead. I know he'll take that good-naturedly.
That's right. When you coach as well as he does, you can wear anything you want.
Right. They're going for the three-pointer here with Meredith.
And he got it.
Nice play from the timeout to get Meredith open.
Webb, the turnaround at the other end, and a rebound down to Mitchell. Long way back for the Rams. Mitchell pushed it, almost traveled that time. Anderson to the basket is hammered.
Not a great running team. They have to score from their half-court offense, and that's very difficult against a great athletic team like Alabama. There's the end of the break right there, and Alabama really makes you earn every basket in the paint, a la Georgetown.
Let me make a correction to it. It's Molyneux, Dwayne Molyneux in the ball game who drew the foul, and not Anderson, who's not in the game. I saw the knee brace on the other side of the floor. I thought it was Anderson. It's not. It's Molyneux.
I'm just wondering if Anderson will see him back here because, as we said, he was operated on 3 weeks ago. They scoped him, and it's got to be a little painful after running in the first half.
And he really wasn't a big factor in the ballgame. He's not scored in the ballgame, and they need him to score if he's in there averaging 11.5 points a game.
I watched him earlier with a healthy Anderson, and he gave them a lot more bump and bruise and rebounds.
Molyneux missed both free throws, but they will have a second chance here.
They're going to their high-low set now where they really try to get the ball into Mitchell. There's Mitchell right there sealing down. Good job by Benoit defensively to beat him to the spot. But look what Mitchell does.
Molyneux goes outside, misses the jumper.
It's great offense when you post down and then he's able to pop back out.
Foul from behind on Freehoff, fouling Benoit. Freehoff's third foul.
Benoit averages 10 a game, Cheatham 15 a game, and they haven't been factors, and yet Alabama has a big lead.
Yeah, it says something about Wimp's team.
And I think the guards have done a great job of shooting when they should, just to keep the defense honest. Colorado State back to their zone.
Turn around, Morey. Boy, he gets that shot off in a hurry, doesn't he?
They turn his light on when they go to that zone. He didn't get his three, but nice turnaround jump shot.
Nice touch. 24 for Robert Horry. Meredith for three. Another one. Yep. That's 5 threes for Meredith.
His light's going on. Even you know that Alabama's guards aren't going to shoot outside. They penetrate well enough and pass well enough. And I agree with Wimp. This team is much improved with their play.
So Alabama using a little bit of the clock. 9 minutes, 15 seconds remaining in the game. 20 seconds left on the shot clock.
This is more the tempo I thought Colorado State would play in the first half.
Horry tries it again. A little bit short.
Whip's not quite as happy with Horry.
Tryon outside. Right now, Colorado State is on the edge here.
Yes. They just need a couple of baskets.
Tryon open for the three, missed it. Freehoff gets it back. Tryon again for three. Missed it again. Missed two of them. And this time it's Molyneux over the top. Well, that was a chance.
Yeah, they have to make some outside baskets. Mitchell feels he can score every time, and he shakes his head. Boyd Grant shakes his head on the bench, but when you're wide open like that, you have to shoot the shot, and you know the X's and O's. That's all you can ask for. There's a big meeting going on that Colorado State bench. They're trying to come up with maybe a small miracle.
Looking in the audience, see Bernard Thompson is still there. He and Anderson, of course, they used to call them the bookends at Fresno State when they played for Boyd Grant. They call an offensive foul, a push-off call on Askins that time.
Askins, a great story how he, you know, a lot of players that are seniors, he has 4 personal fouls, and we'll see a push-off underneath, but they would want to start, and Askins just does his job. Oh, yeah, a little push-off. They caught it. Tom Lopes did a great job all during the season from New Jersey, and doing a fine job here tonight. Referees haven't noticed them because they're doing an outstanding job.
So again, Colorado State at the edge. They've had opportunities to get this into single digits, and they just have not been able to capitalize on them. Karen Wilson on again. Mitchell for 3.
What a great down pick, and I think that high-low offense might be the answer to come back for Colorado State.
16 for Mitchell, and the lead is down to 10. Still a long way back. But it was 19. Benoit. And he starts to get into the offense.
You know, when you can score with your big guys outside, oh, just how much better it makes the whole offense work to get the ball inside. And Alabama's been just letter perfect.
Benoit coming off an excellent tournament for Southeast Conference. 42 points and 21 rebounds in those games. And Ori keeps it alive, takes it away from Freoff to the basket. Boyd Grant says timeout, we better talk this over. Probably a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Ori with 26 points. 7 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in the game. And Alabama has righted themselves and have complete control of this ball game. We'll be back. Tied by 14, 7 minutes, 10 seconds left. Colorado State got to within 10, but then Robert Ori.
Great quickness, or is it Freehoff's not too quick? But that's the type of athlete that Alabama really has been winning with in Wimp's 8 trips to the NCAA.
And we were talking earlier about something that Wimp had said to us yesterday when we spoke with him, and that is that your front line is only as good as your guards. And you look at the numbers for Sanders in this game. He's been rather invisible, but he's also been impressive.
9 assists, 12 points. You're right, Barry.
Mitchell to the basket, blocked by Benoit, who gets it back. Big time play.
And that's why it's tough to come back. They can block shots, and they really rebound well. Wimp yesterday also said that the reporter asked him, do you have something to prove that Vitale says the Southeast Conference is weak this year and Alabama's not a real good team? And Wimp had a few things to say about that, so maybe Mr. Vitale will have second thoughts on this Alabama team after the game.
Here's a look at Wimp. Take a look at Benoit underneath. Great play underneath.
Oh, that's a great block. And the referees weren't giving you the body underneath. They looked at the up above.
Ori out in front. Short with that one. Mitchell the rebound.
He's pulling away a little bit instead of following through on his shot. He wasn't in the first half.
There's Jordan in the ballgame for the first time. Jordan was a football player. Actually went to Kansas as a football player.
He was all-state football, went to Kansas. And you can see by his body that we're not lying.
Almost a lazy pass by Wilson that time. Sanders playing very good defense.
Still the discipline of a Boyd Grant offensive team.
5 seconds left on the shot clock. Molyneux blocked by Cheatham. That's what you call not a very good possession right there.
He looked up at the clock. He did all the things right. He saw how much time there was. He drove, he shot, and Alabama said, too weak.
Sanders. These guards like to penetrate and kick it out. They haven't done that too much today.
Credit Colorado's defense, but they've been able to shoot the outside shot.
And Cheatham starts to get into the offense now. He's got only 6 points. So has Benoit. So Benoit and Cheatham, who during the course of the season have combined for 26 points a game, have only 12 in this one.
Good balance.
Jordan in the lane, little jump hook won't go, and the rebound down to Benoit.
We said Colorado State's defense does not steal the ball. They make you shoot a bad shot. One of the leaders in the nation, only giving up 58 a game, but Alabama hasn't taken many bad shots.
Sanders thought about it, now leans in, takes it, and has it. 14 for him.
I'm impressed.
By James Sanders.
And have to really agree with Wimp on his assertion that his guards really have improved.
Yeah, they really are becoming a factor. Remember, we said earlier in the season they were letting the guards take any shot they wanted, basically anything over 16 or 17 feet.
16% was their offense, and that's changing. They're scoring enough now to keep everyone honest. It'll be a great game with Arizona.
That'd be an interesting matchup, won't it?
Yes, yes. The quickness of this ball club against the height, shooting ability of Arizona.
And if any kind of team is going to bother Arizona, it's teams that are quick in the backcourt.
Yes, and they do have a decidedly quickness advantage over Arizona.
Although I have to tell you, I think Arizona's playing just great right now, and I think any team in the country is going to have trouble beating them.
Except those Big Ten teams that have 6 left.
It's true.
Fellas on 12.
St. John's won today, so the Big East is still rolling. Georgetown.
But I think all the lesser lights have really proven something, too. There's been an awful lot of close games, and then, of course, Northern Iowa with the biggest win of the tournament so far this afternoon. Bama by 6. Mike, I don't know as much as you about this game, but I do know that when you shoot 60%, you're going to win a good many.
Yes. Especially when you only take 42 shots. You know, that's you have to play defense if you don't shoot the ball a lot. And these two teams don't shoot the ball a lot, and they do play good defense, but Alabama has shot it well today. Wimp wasn't sure how LSU got seated higher than he did. And after looking at this Alabama team play today, I'm not quite sure either.
Sanders a lean in, count it, and he'll go to the line.
Great job by Gary Waite and James Sanders today. Watch this penetration. Usually they dump it here, but that time the Tryon went back outside with the three-point shooter. Guard James Sanders kept it, and nice move.
Sanders' second half of the, not second half of the game, but second half of the season. Bama's only been at the free throw line 3 times. Interesting to note. That's why he missed it. So strange.
Yes.
But the second half of Sanders' season has just been brilliant. He's really been a key player over the last 10 games, according to his coach. And he gives Wimp a little flexibility. He can play the 2 guard, or he can move over and play the 1 guard.
Yeah, they early in the season, as we said, James was not starting, and since making the change, I think they're a much better ball club. They pass the ball better, and they have more bench coming in.
This is Dwayne Pope, 0-0 with the ball. Mitchell, turnaround.
Either team is not near the bonus, so we have a lot of fouls to go. It's another sign of a good coaching team. They don't foul a lot and play good defense, too.
That's true. A little pressure in the backcourt this time by Colorado State. They haven't done that too much. Alabama, hard team to do that, too.
They have a lot of people with a lot of quickness. Used to be Kentucky control that Southeast Conference. The rest of them waited for the spring football to start. Now the conference, the last 10 years, has changed.
And as you said earlier, really becoming a coach's conference. Nice block that time underneath by Ori again. That's about 3 blocks in the game for him. Well, he's having a big-time game, isn't he?
Oh, yes, yes. Just doing the right things, making the right decisions. It's all you can ask of your guards, and That's a sign of an Alabama guard. They do the right things.
That pretty much describes the ball game right there. That was a look at Andy Anderson and Molyneux and some of the other members of the Colorado State Rams, and they obviously are thinking about another day. Actually, Molyneux looks like he's thinking about Excedrin headache number 26. Or in his case, number 25, which happens to be worn by Robert Horry. Foul call on Polk.
Last year, this Colorado State team beat a Southeast Conference team in the first round. I forget who that was.
26 points.
Little revenge here by Alabama tonight. I'll remember that team, and I'm sure in a second or two. Probably shouldn't have said it if I didn't remember it.
Meredith outside missed everything.
They'll take their time. They beat Florida.
There you are. That was good. 2, 3, 4. Let's take a minute to thank the NCAA Basketball Committee representative, Gary Cunningham here, the tournament manager, Steve Holton, and the tournament media coordinator, Shane Schroeder. From Colorado State, the athletic director, Oval James, who you heard from at halftime, the head basketball coach, Boyd Grant, who was such a big help in his staff, sports information director, Gary Azello, and from Alabama, the athletic director, Hootie Ingram, their head basketball coach, Wim Sanderson. Really enjoyed talking with him yesterday and his staff, and the sports information director, Larry White.
They really have been super here at the NCAA tournament. The NCAA people and both schools here today, they really tried to help us out. It's tough helping us out.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that might not be the look of a winner, but I promise you folks it is.
Well, he's thinking of Arizona Sunday.
That may be the reason for the look of worry.
They had a lot of fans here earlier in the day.
Sanders leaves, and he had a terrific game and a big second half. 9 assists. 9 assists, 18 points.
Oh, that's a big-time game for an Alabama guard.
And Horry at this end has done almost as much as he did at the offensive end. Nice little scoop shot by Mitchell.
Horry has done a great job on Mitchell.
Mitchell quietly with 20 points.
Yes.
And he really does look like a player.
Yeah, he can go outside, inside. And
Jordan, I think, is going to get... No, yes, they're going to call it on Jordan. I wasn't quite sure what that signal was. I never saw that signal from the basketball referee.
I think he was trying to help Jordan off the floor. This was just a mass of arms and legs. As you see Jordan here, he will not be able to stop after the pass. Ooh, I think I'll give a little Academy Award here also. Late in the ball game, I might not have called that, but he's so big, he looks like he's going to hurt somebody. But as we said, great officiating crew here today. Sylvester, Jody Sylvester from Bethlehem.
And in fact, interesting to note, most of the games that I've seen, which haven't been too many because we've been here most of the time, but games that I've seen, the officials have really let them play.
Yes, and I think that's a key to the way the officiating is throughout the country. In the old days, they would say, well, they're Pacific referees and they won't let them play, or they're Big Ten and they'll let them kill each other. Now referees travel all over, and the brand of basketball and the officiating is the same, and that's great for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, very consistent. Down low it goes to Mitchell again. Got a man in the air. Rejection by Horry. Back it goes to Tryon. Give to Mitchell.
The problem there is they only got one man in the air. With Alabama, you have to get 2 or 3 before you get a shot.
A lob that time, almost a little bit too tall. Marcus Campbell and Bryant Lancaster in the game now for Alabama. Try to keep you up to date. Some of the substitutions as both coaches get to the end of their bench with 52 seconds remaining in the game, and Bama comfortably in front by 17. For Boyd Grant, another day to be sure.
17 fouls, Colorado State now.
All being considered pretty good season for Boyd Grant, because as you mentioned, they were picked to finish somewhere near the bottom of the WAC conference.
Oh, yes, yes. And I read an interesting article in a Denver paper how Colorado, when they had a chance about 3 or 4 years ago to get Boyd Grant, weren't interested because he didn't have the personality they were looking for. And boy, my money, that's the guy I'd go after.
I thought it was pretty interesting, too. He said that at Colorado State, the fans know him, and they know when he played he wasn't a great player. Down at Fresno State, everybody fooled. He said they thought he was a great player.
Well, Colorado, I hear they had the ringing of the phone of Joey Harrington here at Long Beach, coach.
Who is all of a sudden the subject of a lot of rumors.
Miami,
for one. Colorado, according to Dick Vitale.
And you know Dick knows. They're doing a great job in the studio. I just sat on my bed today in the hotel and listened and really enjoyed the great show that they're putting on between the ball games and at halftime. And boy, it's great to watch the NCAA through ESPN.
I wish Dick could be a little more exuberant, though. I tell you, his laid-back attitude is really getting to me. You know, he just doesn't like the game.
When I flew in here to Long Beach, they had a contest in the back of who could beat Dick Vitale. He would have loved it because I was sitting up in the front and they didn't know I worked for ESPN.
There's an ESPN director by the name of Drew Esikoff, who I'm sure the folks back in Bristol know real well, who does a better Dick Vitale than Dick Vitale.
All part of the big dance. Get a tee.
Now in the game for Alabama, number 20.
Kenneth Rice made those two free throws.
I thought they were calling a timeout. No, it's not.
Marcus Campbell leaves for Alabama. Good win, without question, for Wimp Sanderson's team.
Because I thought Colorado State played very well early, and Alabama had to show a lot of poise in coming back.
Nice play to knock it ahead by Mitchell to Jordan underneath. Mitchell, to me, really looks like a guy who can play.
The NBA scouts agree with you.
To the basket at the other end. Bryant Lancaster. Baseball pass this way. Intercepted by Ernest Brown. There's a mixed metaphor. Baseball pass that's intercepted. How about that? And time has run out. But time ran out a long time ago on Colorado. 71-54. Alabama beats Colorado State. And a good win for Wimp Sanderson and the Crimson Tide. We'll be back.
The Alabama Crimson Tide. They were the champions in the SEC in the tournament. They advanced, sent out west by the committee, and Dick Vitale, you said all along they should not be out there. They deserved a higher seed elsewhere, and they proved it today.
I really like Wimp Sanderson. I think he does an outstanding job and doesn't get the national credit. His teams play great defense. They have really good shot selection, and they got good athletes. And when you have that combination, you got a chance to win. Interesting matchup coming up now with Arizona and Alabama. I really think, John, that's going to get down to guard play. Whoever gets the supreme guard play will advance because they both have outstanding front courts.
I was going to say, you've got Brian Williams, who really came on today, had 28 points in his game as Arizona won. Is that a guy that can be stopped by Wimp's team, who really doesn't have a lot of size?
Well, he plays great defense, his team, and they got size inside with Benoit, the big, strong guy. You and I had him against North Carolina, and we were impressed when they played on the parquet floor down in Alabama. And Ori, I think Ori's a special player, and he showed it today. Multi-dimensional, just a great, great athlete, but he's young. And then they got the kid Cheatham. He had a consistent year, but Sanders, no relation to you, didn't play when you and I were down there because I know you can't, but you want to get the hockey stick out. He wants to stroke it. But I'll tell you this, Sanders has really improved. He did not play in the game that you and I did against North Carolina. He was the guy that was suspended when we went over Wimp's house, and his wife gave us the beautiful dessert. I'll tell you something else. Wimp has overachieved in marriage. I've said that from day one. His wife is absolutely beautiful.
One other note about Wimp, when we were at his house in December, he was also doing a little bit of crying about not having any players. Now here he is one step away from the Sweet 16.
What else is new? He cries all the time. If you talk to him now, you'd really hear him cry. Talking about definitely Arizona, I could just hear, we don't have any size. We don't have any of the athletes Lute Olson has. But I'll tell you one thing. Watch out, Lute. They can flat out play, especially defensively.
Okay, as we said, Alabama will go on to face Arizona. The Wildcats were a winner over South Florida, 79-67. Brian Williams, as I mentioned, had 28 points in the game. That was a career high, so they advanced. Now, the upset of the day occurred in the southeast region. The game's being played in Richmond. Northern Iowa facing Missouri. Missouri, a team that struggled down the stretch, beaten up by Notre Dame, then a loser in their conference tournament. But Missouri would face the Panthers of Northern Iowa today. Should have been easy, right? Troy Muhlenberg says no. The Rainbow from the left baseline. Annie's foul, a 4-point play. Maurice Newby then from the top of the key. Panthers would build a 12-point lead. Missouri fans dejected. They see it's gone, or they think so. Brad Hill from the right baseline. Northern Iowa up by 14. But the Tigers start the comeback. John McIntyre, the long bomb at the buzzer. Missouri is down 42-31 at halftime. In the second half, the Tigers start on a 7-0 run. Lee Coward and Doug Smith. Eldon Miller knew they would come, and here they come. Jason Reese plays tough inside. Off-balance jumper. Northern Iowa's lead is 8. The Tigers look to be in trouble. Doug Smith reaches in, and that's a ticky-tacky foul to pick up. Norm Stewart can't believe it. Missouri down by 3. Nathan Bunton, the big rebound and the hoop, were all tied up with 10 seconds left in the game.
Bunton gets the rebound.
Here we go.
Turner, unable to get inside.
Oh, Newby. The celebration is underway. Northern Iowa pulls off the upset. The number 14 seed beating the number 3 seed. Missouri, a team that was ranked number 1 in the nation for much of the year, 74-71. Jason Reese, 18 points, 15 rebounds. They advance. And Dick, we have to ask you quite simply, what is wrong with this Tiger team?
Well, really, it gets down to basically the performance of Anthony Peeler. In the last 5 games, he's averaged like 9 points a game. Prior to that, he was a mini version. You ready for this? He was a mini version of our guy Jordan. He was unbelievable. He was like a Michael Jordan, flying up and down the court, slam dunking. I don't want any of you writers out there to say that I'm saying he's a Michael Jordan, because I am not. But basically, he had the athletic skills of a young version of Jordan, and he was sensational. But just, I don't know what's happened. That's the mystery. Had 1 basket in this game late in the game. Anthony Peeler, to me, is the big question mark right now at the end of the season in college basketball.
Well, when Lee Coward was injured towards the end of the season, injured his hand in a Big 8 game, they really never seemed to recover from that. That set Anthony Peeler off a little bit. There was infighting between the team, and we see how much when young kids start to talk about each other behind the back, how much it can hurt a team.
Well, especially in basketball where chemistry and team togetherness is so important. If it's baseball, like when they had the battles, the Oakland Athletics, Reggie Jackson and Sal Bando. I mean, I could play right field, you could play third base. We never talk to each other. We may never have a play together. But in basketball, if I got the rock, baby, and you're playing forward, I say, no, John, you didn't take me to dinner yesterday. I'm not going to you, John. I'm going over there. That guy can't play. If he's a bricklayer, you know what happens? We get the L, baby. So togetherness and playing as a team is vital in the game of basketball. But I'll tell you this, Missouri did have a great year. They won the Big 8. Certainly a tough conference during the regular season. One of the most improved conferences in America. But not a way, I'm sure, that Norm Stewart and the Tiger fans wanted to see it end.
You better have harmony, especially at this time of year in the NCAA tournament. UTEP out of the WAC against Minnesota, the Golden Gophers from the Big Ten, a team that went to the Sweet 16 last year, and Clem Haskins trying to repeat the job this time around, although it will be a little tougher. Greg Foster with the block. Prince Stewart on the fast break. Finds Marlon Maxey for the slam. This in the Southeast in Richmond. UTEP by 3 in the second half. The Gophers turn it around. Melvin Newburn takes a cross-court pass. Melvin knocks down the 3. Minnesota leads 53-50, less than a minute. UTEP won't die. Henry Hall hits the 3. We're going to overtime. Their only field goal in the final 10.5 minutes. UTEP with a chance to tie, but Prince Stewart goes for the 2. Newburn finishes off the Miners at the other end. They needed the 3. Minnesota wins at 64-61, and the Golden Gophers are 1 win away from once again going to the Sweet 16 as they get the 3-point victory as the number 6 seed. Kevin Lynch, 18 points. Willie Burton had 14 points, 5 of those in overtime. So here's the bracket in the Southeast. These games being played in Richmond, Virginia. Minnesota will advance to face the surprise team, the number 14 seed, Northern Iowa. Eldon Miller getting it done again. Virginia and Notre Dame, game is see later here on ESPN, and Coppin State against Syracuse. Coppin State, a team of great athletes taking on the number 2 seed. In the Midwest, games being played in Indianapolis. Texas Southern out of the SWAC against the Georgetown Hoyas. The Hoyas just a 3 seed this time around, sent out of the East, but the last time they won a national championship, they were sent away from the East as well, and John Thompson knows all about that. Hoyas come out firing. Dwayne Bryant nails the 3. The Hoyas are up by 6. Texas Southern, though, had Fred West. who hits a three-point shot of his own. West with 11 points in the first half. But the Twin Towers, Alonzo Mourning saves the ball. The big guy chasing after it. They push it down the other end of the floor and find 7'2" Dikembe Mutombo, who lays it in. And then Dikembe with the jump hook. He sends it down towards the hoop. Gets a kind bounce here as it goes through. Georgetown by 9 at halftime. And John Thompson says, that's how I used to do it. Alonzo Mourning, triple team, still gets the layup here. Mourning 12 points and 8 boards. The Hoyas continue to dominate inside. Dikembe Mutombo, you cannot stop him. Underneath, up, and jams it down. Mutombo with a great day, 18 points, 8 of 9 from the field. More Dikembe Mutombo, the power move to the basket here. Two-handed slam late in the second half. Charles Parker will run into Darian Applewhite, who hits the floor extremely hard. You see his head go down the side of his head. A frightening moment as his teammates look on, obviously concerned. Applewhite taken off the court on a stretcher, but he is okay. Georgetown a winner, 70-52. Mutombo would finish with 18 points, 16 rebounds. Mark Tillman finished with 22 points in the game.